Thanks for tuning in to the BSN Nuggets Weekly Breakdown presented by Frosted Leaf. Frosted Leaf, Denver's most innovative dispensary, has the hottest strains, no lines, no wait, and a self-paced direct shopping experience that allows a fast yet comfortable transaction without the awkwardness of a waiting room. Come check out Frosted Leaf's 3 Denver locations and download their app on both Apple or Android. I'm Allie Monroy, and alongside me is Harrison Wind. The Denver Nuggets accomplished the greatest playoff comeback in franchise history Tuesday night as they beat the San Antonio Spurs 114-105. The comeback was sparked by Jamal Murray, who went off scoring 21 of his 24 points in the fourth quarter. Harrison, what were your takeaways from the game?
In the first half, I was looking on Southwest for some plane tickets to Cabo for next week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But now I feel like the Nuggets have a new lease on life and this series, courtesy of Jamal Murray, who had, I think, what will go down as one of the great playoff performances in Nuggets franchise history. We've seen this from Jamal before, which is the crazy part. I mean, this is a guy who's had 34 points in the second half against the Kings earlier this year. So I wasn't terribly surprised that it was him, but for him to get 21 in the fourth quarter to just absolutely bring Denver back from the dead and will the Nuggets to a win in a must-win game too, because if Denver drops this game, they're not coming back from an 0-2 deficit with this trip to San Antonio looming. So one of Jamal Murray's, statement performances of his career for sure, and one of what probably will be a lot of big-time playoff moments from him.
What was the environment like at the Pepsi Center?
It was crazy in the second half. The loudest I've heard that building in 4 years going to games there, covering this team. And when the Nuggets get on one of those runs like that, when Malik Beasley hits a couple threes, when Jamal Murray is in one of those zones, I mean, if you're a fan there, how can you not go crazy? And the Nuggets fed off that. And I think that was a big reason why they kept up that momentum in the fourth quarter, because, you can throw a bunch of daggers the Spurs' way, but they're such a veteran club that they're not going to fade easily. So the fact that Denver was able to keep up that momentum throughout the entire quarter was impressive, and the fans deserve a lot of credit for that.
Fans have been disappointed with Will Barton's recent performance, and there's speculation that Malik Beasley may start over Barton in Game 3. What are your thoughts on that situation?
If Denver had lost Game 2, I think there might be a line of thinking that says, hey, we got to make a big change right now because, look, we've lost 2 games at home. We're probably not coming back on the road in San Antonio where we got to play 2. We need a change. We need something to jumpstart this team. But the fact that they won this one the other night, I think that puts off that decision for now. I think the Nuggets roll with Will Barton in Game 3. He had an awful Game 2. He'd be the first to tell you that. But I felt like he played well in Game 1 on both ends of the floor. He had some good moments on offense and defense in that one. And I think a win can jumpstart everybody, jumpstart the Nuggets shooting. Maybe it can jumpstart his play as well. So I wouldn't anticipate a change for Game 3. I think the fact that the Nuggets got a win, they've liked to roll with what's been working under Michael Malone over the last couple of years. So I think they stick with Barton.
The series now shifts to San Antonio for Game 3 and 4. Harrison, in your opinion, what do the Nuggets need to do to finally break this 7-year drought in the Alamo City?
Yeah, 13 straight games the Nuggets have lost in San Antonio. They're going to have to hit shots, something they didn't do in Game 1, something they couldn't do again in the second half of Game 2. But as the third and fourth quarters wore on, Denver found some semblance of an offensive rhythm. And if you look at the stats from this Game 2 win, Denver shot over 40% from 3. And based on how the first half is going the other night, you would have never thought Denver would have been able to hit that mark from distance. So that's an encouraging sign going forward. They're going to have to hit shots on the road. And they're not going to be able to rely on Jamal Murray to bring them back from the dead in the second half. So it's going to be a team effort that Denver needs in San Antonio. The defense they've played in this series, I think it's been fine. It's been just good enough where they could have won these first 2 games. So they need to bring the same defensive effort, but if they hit shots on the road, they've got a chance to take one of these games.
Well, Harrison will be in San Antonio, so be sure to catch all of our coverage on bsndenver.com. For Harrison Wind, I'm Allie Monroy, BSN Denver.